Alright gamers, and today we're gonna have a super serious video talking about, in my opinion, the most broken character for PvE in Etheria Restart currently, and that is this unit that you see, this Animus, and that is Diting. Now, I don't know if it's a he or a she. I'm fairly certain it's a he if you look at his or her lore. It's not this button, it's this button. You'll see that it is gonna say his right here. But one of his skills says she. If you look at Diting's S2, it says blah 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 blah, and then marks the enemy. Oh, at the start of her turn, you'll see that it's kind of saying that it's the girls. I'm not too sure. I'm just gonna refer to Diting as Diting. Up to you to argue each side. I think it's a mistranslation, to be honest. But anyways, I think this is like the must build 4-star or SR DPS if you have Diting on your account. Obviously, he's a little harder to get because he's a disorder or dark character, so he's not as easily attainable, similar to Marvel. But if you do get your hands on Diting, this character is like a must build. This character does a crap ton of single target damage and is very easy to build. So Diting's S3 is this single target attack, and when you max it out, he'll actually perform an extra attack with his S1, which does a ton of damage. It's basically like a double attack, and this scales pretty crazily. 450% is very good. And then his rapid fire is a single target attack. This also hits decently hard. If you skill it up, it does even more damage. Makes his S3 do more damage, so definitely a very good investment as well. And then we have Diting's passive. So Diting's passive is, in my opinion, the reason why Diting is so freaking strong. Basically, if you're not CC'd at the start of your turn, you're going to mark an enemy with the lowest health percentage, and then your crit rate against that target goes up by 60%. So you don't really ever need to worry about crit rate on this character, which makes it so nice in the early game. And on top of that, if you have excess crit rate, it's converted to crit damage at a ratio of 150%. So it makes this character super easy to build. Obviously mine is pretty well built here because I've been playing the game for a while and kind of grinding it and doing some dolphin shenanigans. But anyways, you'll see that I have 108% crit chance above, and then with the passive I'm gonna be at like, I don't even know, 180, but that gets converted to crit damage. So it makes it so it's very easy to build Diting. You just need at least 40% crit chance and then everything else in the damage if you want, because you're gonna be hitting your marked target most of the time. This character is very good on the beginner onslaught sets. You get these just from completing Hyperlink Charter and by first time clearing Terramaton, and just scales super well with attack. Attack is going to be very good on Diting. For the right side, you can go like a mixture of crit rate and crit damage. What I recommend is crit rate and then crit damage on 2 of the pieces, and then the third one, it's up to you if you want to go attack, crit rate, or crit damage. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. They're all really good. I think if you do the math, I think crit rate, crit damage is the best if you have high enough attack from your sets. But yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. Very good on the beginner onslaught sets, matrix sets, and then you can incorporate Fury or Keen Eye set later. Reason why this character is so good is, like I mentioned, so much damage. Like, it's like unfathomable how much damage this character does, and it's like Diting is super strong in a lot of areas of content. So Terramaton, you're gonna see, like, for instance, if you go to the fastest clears, yeah, Diting's in like every single one just because the damage is insane. If you go to Aurora, also gonna be used in a lot of the comps here. Yeah, Diting's like in every single one, as you can see again. Yeah, I mean, just super broken, right? The only like threshold you can't really use him in is in Doki Doki, just because of the fact that you need a lot of AoE damage, and Diting's only weakness is that he or she does like a ton of single target, but no AoE, so that's a big problem. But threshold, very good there. If you look at like Nico Nana and Sharon, you're gonna see Diting again for sure. Yep, wow, 3-man squad with Diting. You go to Sharon here, let's see, do we see Diting? Oh wow, Diting's in every single clear, that's crazy. If we go to Shadow Flame Hoyan, which just unlocked for me, wow, Diting's in every single one. So you kind of get what I'm saying. Even if you go to the lower ones, you'll see Diting's in every single one for the fastest clears, because he enables like these one-shot comps. He or she enables these one-shot comps, and Diting also does just a crap ton of single target. So even if you're not one-shotting, you just make the runs so easy. Also, if you're struggling in like Anasync Echoes, you're gonna see Diting in pretty much like, not every single run because the bosses have different mechanics, but Diting's a safe pick in a lot of the hard stages. Like Karuru, you can bring him in. I still have to work on that. I think for this one, you can bring him as well. Yeah, you see Diting here. So even though Diting might not be the best in some of these, still going to be really good in most areas of content. Same thing for Ember Trek, right? If you are progressing through Ember Trek, you'll see Diting in like every single stage, just because this character is just so broken. So you can see, you know, people are literally bringing him in like 90% of areas of content, highest single target damage in the game. And it's really nice because all you have to do around Diting is just bring supports, right? If you have like a Lily is super good with Diting because you can push Diting up with like your Shadow Trick, and then you can reset Diting's S3, which is like the main hitting ability. So they're like a very good combo. Even something like a Kloss is very good because you have that defense break for Diting and you have that speed down and hacking progress. Something like a Freya is very good just because she has this attack buff for Diting. Valerian's very good because she can protect him. Beyontin's also very good because she can buff him. Just anything that can buff him and like make the enemy take less turns and, you know, be like less defense pairs very well with Diting, because Diting is like this like one-shot machine. Even if you're not one-shot and you're just gonna do a ton of damage. So I'm gonna showcase Diting for you guys very, very quickly. Now, before you say, oh, it's just your build, like you're such a whale, blah blah blah. Sure, maybe, but like keep in mind, like I'm missing 20% attack from this set, which a lot of people already have, even if they didn't spend, because they were smarter about how they progressed. Also, like I'm literally missing a passive on my shell. This is for Hollow because I use this on Real Mocha for Doki Doki. So like Diting literally gets 0 out of this, and I'm literally missing like 105%, okay, 115% attack, right? So I'm literally missing like, I don't even know, like 50% attack right now. But you'll see, and I'm missing levels. You're gonna see that Diting is still freaking crazy. So I'll actually showcase it for you guys, just where I use Diting. So let's just go into, for example, let's just go into Nico Nana, which a lot of people are farming, right? So for Nico Nana, I use a pretty specific team comp. I mean, everyone should use a pretty specific one around Diting, because you just want to buff him, right? So I have a defense break in Kloss and a speed down, so Nico Nana takes more damage, and I just have like a buffer in Beyontin. That's pretty much it. I don't even need Health Kit in here. I just have him here just because he gives my team immunity and just makes it faster, honestly. So basically what I do is just press all my buttons here. You're gonna see my Beyontin's gonna buff, defense break and speed down on the boss here. And then now what we can do is just press my S3 and you'll see boom, boom, boom. Yeah, pretty much almost dead, right? And like Ditings that are actually geared, like mine's not really geared to the max right now, literally just one-shot this and you can farm this in 10 seconds. It's pretty crazy. You can see like, oh, it's just your gear. Like, what if I don't have gear? Okay, well, if you didn't have as good of gear as mine, but you still had your shells, your sets, Nico Nana will be at like what? Let's just say, let's be generous here, it'll be at 50%. Okay, well, if you're looking at like the state of the field here, it's pretty much like already over. Like this fight's pretty much already over, right? And that's why Diting is so strong. Like the damage potential is insane. And it's not even potential, it's very easy to reach that potential. All you have to do is 6-star Diting, and you just have to literally put him on the beginner onslaught set. Once you can, you also put him on the Fury set, or put him on her on. I'm trying so hard to say him or her on the Fury set if you want, or a Kenai set. And then also, you just want to make sure that Diting's on a good shell, right? That's pretty much it. And upgrading shells is pretty simple. You just farm it, and Diting will just carry you. So yeah, pretty much it for Diting. Super broken SR. People are afraid that Diting might get nerfed. Honestly, if they do go with nerfs soon, I think Diting would be like one of the first characters to get nerfed, if not the first, because of how strong this person is in PvE. It's insane. It's not just my build, guys. Trust me. Literally everyone is using this character, and if you guys don't have Diting, you know, you can make way with like Lian and stuff like that, or like Rosa, or like whatever DPS you pulled. But once you get this character, build it ASAP and abuse it before it gets nerfed. Like this is like one of the most broken characters I've ever seen at the start of a gacha release. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about this character. Do you think Diting needs a nerf? I think probably does, but I hope Diting doesn't get nerfed. And as always, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.